Good morning, Level Up Lobby. How are we doing? How are we doing? The title of this video is called Are You Frustrated with Life? And this is something I teach my clients all of the time, and it's a question that I want to ask you. Now, I was thinking about this morning before I came on, and I thought, I wonder, do my titles of my videos put people off? So if I have a title saying, are you frustrated with your life? Are you thinking, oh, I don't want Linda to see me watching this because I don't want her to think that I am frustrated with my life? And if that's a thought that's coming into your head, then you really need to watch this video. So good morning. Good morning for those watching me live. If you are watching me live, do use the hashtag, pop in the comments, hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, use hashtag replay. Or if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if you're getting something from this, okay? So, are you frustrated with your life? Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. But the main thing is, and this is what Bob taught me, is that for most of us, we already know how to do a lot of things, but we're not doing it. And Bob calls it the knowing doing gap. And maybe you've heard that before. Good morning, Fiona. The knowing doing gap. And what happens is we learn all these things, but because we haven't went to the root cause of the problem, which is a negative paradigm that we have, we don't do all these things. Okay? And that was me. When I heard this, the knowing doing gap, and I was like, thank goodness that's what it is. Because I just thought I was lazy. I just thought I wasn't motivated. I just spent this whole time being hard on myself and blaming myself for not doing all these things. Now, knowing that it's a paradigm adds to your knowing and can add to the wideness of this gap, because knowing your paradigm, knowing that it's a paradigm controlling you, is not enough. You've got to take action. Okay? You've got to take action. So you're feeling frustrated in life, and that's because you're not taking action. You're not taking action on the things you know how to do. It's like when we go on a diet, we know that we know all the things. We're not stupid. We know very clearly that healthy food on a regular basis, exercise, will give us good results. Okay? And then you might hear yourself, people, and there's different journeys with this, because I used to be this person. Now I just create a new paradigm. What I do now is I make the old model obsolete. I create a new model. You cannot create a new existence by fighting the old model. So if something's not working for you, it's just insanity to keep going. You got to try something new. So if you are going on a health journey and you think, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go to the gym 7 days a week and it means I can eat whatever I want. That's not really going to work. You're going to have to spend a lot of time at the gym to burn off all of the things. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. Okay? And if you're telling yourself that, you gotta think, well, I must believe somewhere that I can't give up these foods. Are you somebody who tells yourself on a regular basis, I've got a sweet tooth, or I couldn't go to a restaurant without having a glass of wine, or I need something to eat at night time when I'm watching TV. If you keep telling yourself this, you're just feeding this paradigm that goes, whoa, great, we're just going to stay the way we are. It's amazing what we tell ourselves. So you think, oh, I went to the gym, it's okay, I'll have a pizza tonight. I would say every PT in the world will tell you that's not the case. Good morning, Teresa. Lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. So I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing? Because this is what's going to happen, okay? The knowing doing gap, okay? We know a lot of things and we're not doing it. And the more that we know, the more that we add to this knowledge, the wider this gap seems to be. Because you're knowing more, but you're not doing anything, okay? This is where the behavior needs to change. Now, you might be somebody who buys a lot of books. I'm one of those people. And you read it once, and then you go on to the next book, and you're like, oh goodness, I hear all the time, oh Linda, I read all the books. but you're still not doing anything. Because what you're actually doing is widening the gap. You're making it worse. Now, that's not to say don't improve yourself and learn great things, but realize that, you know, reading something once or watching one video once, or, you know, having a healthy alternative when it comes to a meal, or, you know, saving money for 1 month and not consecutively every month if you're looking to accumulate money for a trip or for something that you want. You know, doing that one off is not changing, it's not closing that gap. Okay? So ask yourself, what am I doing to add to the knowledge which is not actually getting me the results that I want? Action is the result. And when it comes to rebuilding this model, you need to be doing it every day. You can't just dip in and out. This has to be done every single day. Now, is it something you want to do? Probably not. But you're not going to get what you want unless you take action. And the thing is, when people are looking at change, you know, and I say things like, oh, I couldn't go to a restaurant without having a glass of wine. Well, have you ever tried? This is the question. You know, have you just decided and made that decision before you've ever done it? You know, is there something you say you could never do, but you've never actually tried to do it? Because what we actually are creating is this barrier where we cannot see the benefit on the other side. And because we cannot see the benefit or experience the benefit, you know, or we haven't experienced it, we don't see the good part of it. So we were like, nah, not going to do that. So think about this week as you go into this week. What are you not doing? What are you telling yourself? You know, what I've been trying to do this last week while is really, because I want to, our whole point on this earth is to experience things, to expand and evolve. And I thought, what would I love to experience more? I don't want to put any limitations on myself, so how do I remove my limits? So one of the things we came to, you know, there's lots of foods that I don't eat. Now, I eat most things, but there's a lot of like quirky stuff that I just go, ugh. I don't like that, you know, whether it's got a face, like a fish thing. I just decided I didn't like it. I've never, you know, I haven't tried it, but I've decided I don't like it. But I could like it, but I haven't tried it. So this is a fun thing I've been doing, and I encourage you to do something the same. And one of the things was dates. I just went, ugh, because my dad used to keep me going that when I was a kid, that raisins were like dead flies, okay? He used to get, you know, the fruit loaf. And what he was trying to do is he didn't want to share. You know what? If you're a parent, your kids are around you, every time you've got a bar in your hand or crisp, your kids are there going, can I have some? Can I have some? I was that kid, like a little chick in the nest, constantly looking fed, you know. And he's probably sitting down to this lovely fruit loaf. He got his butter on it, and if you're a fruit loaf fan, I'm sure you'll agree. He's got his cup of coffee, and he's about to take a bite, and there I come like a little bird going, can I try some? So, and what he's done is to put me off, and so he doesn't have to share his fruit loaf. He's like, oh, the dead flies, not you wouldn't like it. And I believed him. I was like, oh, that's disgusting, you know, and that was me. So I never ate, and this is so funny, I never ate these dried fruit. So even like up until recently, like if I went for an afternoon tea and there was fruit in the scone, I'd be like, ugh, I'd be picking them out. That's what I would have been doing. Okay? So anyway, at a friend's house, they brought out a cheese board, there was dates on the cheese board, and I could feel it automatically. Ugh, you don't like dates, right? Don't like any kind of dried fruit. This is what I've decided long ago. But then quickly I said, but Linda, you've never tried a date. How do you know? How do you know? So I tried it. It was okay. Now, it's not my favourite. I think it's an acquired taste, but it wasn't disgusting. You know, will I need to pull it out of a fruit loaf? Probably not. I'm not sure if you get dates in fruit loaves. This comes to everything, you know. When it comes to doing like personal development, oh no, I'm not a good reader. I couldn't be studying every day. How do you know? I just thought, when I left university, I thought, see ya. When I left school, I'm like, see ya. I never want to read another book. But see, when you're reading this material, and I'm sure those of you watching who do read this material, it's absolutely incredible. You want to learn more. But the thing is, unless you're doing more, you're taking action what you're learning, you're going to start widening this gap. So maybe you are somebody who's dipped their toe into personal development, and you love it, and you love reading about it and being immersed in it. but you still find yourself stagnant. You get frustrated, and frustration comes when you get stagnant, when things aren't happening, and then you find yourself chasing like temporary highs. It's like going out for drinks with your friends. Not saying it's a bad thing, like, but if there's like you're living for the weekend, like, and you're doing things, you know, you buy yourself a new top, or you know, you go out for dinner, or you say, oh, I'm just going to buy this wee piece of cake and treat myself. Those are temporary highs. They actually don't do a lot for us when you're not challenging what's going on the inside. What is that paradigm saying to you? What is this belief? Now, paradigm could have 3 or 4 beliefs. It's not just one single belief and one action. It's a multitude. Okay, it's how you feel and think about a certain situation. Could it be with money? How do you feel about money? You know, you're not earning the money you're earning now because you want to. It's because that's all you know how to do. That's all you believe you can do. That's all your paradigm is allowing you to do. If you're not actively increasing that and changing that for the better, you're on autopilot. So everything you do and don't do, you're on autopilot. Okay? Your paradigm is running you. And that's when you feel like, I'm not doing anything, because you aren't doing anything, you're just living the same day in, day out. You gotta challenge things, you gotta challenge these beliefs. How do you close the knowing doing gap? You start taking more action. You cannot be somebody different, you know, if you don't change the inside. Now, going in there, it can be a bit ugly, you know, but it's something you need to do, you know, because I look back, and I've been doing this for 3 years, and I look back and I nearly laugh at the stuff that I used to tell myself. I actually feel a little bit foolish about the things I used to believe. I really do. I'm just like, goodness, I feel a wee bit silly. You know, it's like something you've just, you know, you thought something was, you had made an assumption on something, and you just believed that's what it was, and then you realise the actual truth of it, and you're like, oh goodness, I didn't know that. And you never challenged it, and you lived your life that way. But see, when you go right, okay, how do I close this knowing doing gap? Learn something new, take action on it every single day. You know, how many of you have created a schedule or a to-do list? I'm gonna do this, and you don't do it. And you know you really wanted to. And you know, this is the worst bit, you know if you do it, you're gonna feel good. Why do you stop yourself feeling good? The reality is, your paradigm is pretty much immoral. It doesn't, you know, you feeling good, it doesn't care. It just likes to stay the same. That's where it's comfortable. It likes to be comfortable. And you know the things that you'll do. You'll feel that stretch. You'll feel that pull in your body if maybe somebody's asking you to do a favour and you're like, oh, you know, you feel that, that resistance. Or, you know, maybe somebody's showing you an opportunity and you're like, yeah, it sounds really good. And then you're like, oh, you feel that resistance. You're like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm scared about losing this money. Or I don't know what my husband would say. Or whatever it is. You know, or I could spend it on better things, and you talk yourself out of it. And that's that paradigm just holding you back. You know, have we look in the comments? Fiona's asked a great question. What if you feel you have so much to change? Where do you start? Well, this is like overwhelm. Like Bob says, you never change one or two. You only change 1 or 2 habits at a time. We don't go all in and go. It's about finding the one you want to change first. So say, for example, you have a paradigm with regards to how much money you earn. And we all have money paradigms, okay? We all have. So I have a money paradigm. It's probably different from your money paradigm. And it's basically the thermostat, okay? So my money thermostat will be at a certain level, and that's what I will earn each month, each year, okay? I'm working on that all the time. And Bob made this really great fun game, and when I first heard it, I thought, this is incredible. And it really made me, my paradigm was like, what? And it was turning your annual income into a monthly. I was like, that is crazy, but sounds awesome. How do we do that? Okay, so if you've got a money paradigm, you want to raise your thermostat. We are just creating a new model, okay? We're not getting rid of a negative. We're just rebuilding a positive one, okay? So back to Fiona's question, okay? You've got so many to change. You pick 1 or 2. Bob always says, personal, professional. And you're like, well, Linda, okay, I pick one or two, but which one do I pick? Because I've got so many. First of all, let's not talk about how many you have, because all you're doing is actually giving those paradigms energy and an audience and time on stage. And guess what happens when you do that? They grow and they get stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay? So if you want to really see which one should I go to first, think about your big goal, your biggest desire you have right now, whatever it is, big or small or in between. It's your desire. Like, what is the one thing you want right now? That is what, and then you look at, well, what habits or behaviors. Now, don't forget, your paradigm is not just about the actions that you take, but it also controls your thinking and your perception. So what are you thinking all the time? Because remember, every thought counts. You just think about, we have something like crazy, like, 60,000 thoughts a day. It's like ridiculous. Like, it's hard to imagine even how that happens. But so many of them are subconscious, and they're like boomerangs. You throw them out there, they're going to come back. Okay, so that's why you want to put out lots of great thoughts, because you want great thoughts to come back. Okay, so you want to think about, what are my thoughts and actions that I'm not doing or are negative in the way to my goal? So if it is a money goal, and say for example you're in network marketing, but you are repeatedly not reaching out to prospects, or you're not following up the ones you spoke to, that's a negative action, that's a negative behavior. And guess what? It's not giving you the results, because nobody's signing up or nobody's buying your product. Okay? So then you need to set yourself, right, okay, I'm going to be somebody who always follows up, who reaches out to people on a regular basis, and set yourself a command. Write it down on a piece of paper. Write everything down. Okay, don't just leave it up here in your mind. Write it down and get to it. Okay, get to it. Set yourself a challenge. Now, if you think, oh goodness, maybe I could do this in a week. Can you do it every day for a week? Maybe you just say, like, maybe I'll do it. And this is what happens. People they go on all guns a-blazing and think, yeah, I can do this. And they're all like motivated to come. You watch this video and you come off and you're like, yeah, I can do this. And I'm like, yes, take that energy and run with it. But look back at your old behavior. Okay, are you somebody who usually has, like, goes well for 1 or 2 days and then trails off? Okay, recognize that. Not a negative thing. Go, right, okay, I know usually after 1 or 2 days, after I've been really motivated, I'll slip back into my ways. Well, you can set yourself a challenge and go, right, okay, let me see if I can do this for 3 days in a row. So we're stretching a wee bit, okay? And you're going to feel that stretch, because you're going to write down, and then you're going to go, it's going to become maybe late on the 3rd day, and you're like, oh, I haven't followed up with all those people I said I was going to do. Okay? And then your parents will be so strong, it'll be like, you're too tired, just go to bed. Or you can go, no, I'm actually full of energy here, I can do this. And you can do this. World domination, and then gets tired and eats crisps. Absolutely. The motivation that gets you here is not going to carry you to the next stage. It never does, because you don't change that paradigm. If you only change the behavior and you don't change the belief, you're going to stay where you're at. So stretch yourself. Okay, I'm going to do it for 3 days. And then if you get the 3 days, I'm like, right, could I do another 3 days? Next thing you know, you're up to 6 days in a row. I go, right, okay, could I do maybe 7 days? Next thing you know, you're up to 13 days. And then you go, can I do it for 3 weeks? And then you're up again. You're nearly a month gone, and you've done it every single day. You don't have to make life hard for yourself. When you, like, this is when you have to sit down and be really, really honest with yourself. It's like, what do I know? What do I know I'm not doing? And what are the things that I know for sure are not giving me the results that I want? Okay? Whatever field you're in, you pick the desire you want the soonest to happen, what you're going for, and then you look at the actions. You look at well, if I had got that, what should I be doing? And have to think about it. If you are looking to earn more money, how often do you sit down and think of ways to earn money? Do you just go, I might sell those few things on eBay, and then you total off on your day? You know, some of the greatest thinkers in this world actually write in books about allowing yourself an hour a day to think of great ideas. Just sit down and write down. Now, they might not all be amazing. There might be some you're like, yeah, it was a bit too early in the morning for that, I didn't have enough coffee. But then there might be other great ones. Pick the ones you like. If you are not actively thinking of ways to earn more money, then how do you expect to earn more money? but money is earned. Okay? Think every day, how can I earn more money? How can I be of service, greater service? Okay, and this is how we earn money, by being of good service, okay? So maybe you are already in the business. How could you be better? What could you do better? And there's always room for improvement. And maybe there's something you're like, oh, if I hired somebody to help me, I would be doing so much better. And then you're like, oh no, I don't know how to hire people. I don't know how the salary works. Like, how does holidays work? And you think of all these ideas you don't know. Guess what? There's people who don't know these answers. So go and find out. Do not sit and go, oh, I really need help, but the list of things come out. Find out the answers first. Find out how much it's going to cost your business to get them in. Find out all these things first. Don't just decide, oh, I'm not going to do it when you don't know any of the answers. Because ignorance is not an excuse. If you're looking to get something done to your house and you're like, oh, I can't afford it, it'll probably be like 50 grand, and you don't actually even know how much it is because you've never actually got a professional quote from somebody who's in that business. And then you've already decided on that made up thought, just like me. I decided I didn't like Fruit Loop because I believed they were like dead flies and it was gross. When I was a kid. Find out the answers. Find out as much as you can. Now, not in a way to allow, if you're a perfectionist, to allow, create obstacles. But if there's something you want and you just go, well, why have I not done that yet? Why have I not done it yet? And you're like, well, I'm scared because I don't know how it work out with payroll. Then ask somebody. Find out. There's lots of experts in everything. My favorite thing is Google. Google it. You want to know how to create better customer service? Google it. There's so much free information on Google. It's insane. Google it. Don't be sitting there going, I don't know. Google it. Google. And I'm sure if your parents here and you've helping kids with homework, you've been Googling flat out for years. So you should be pros at this. So instead of Googling your kids' homework, Google stuff for you. And that's when you find out, all the options. Okay, because you might discover actually, you know what, that's good, but here, this is even better. Maybe I could do this. Google everything. That's the best. That's business advice 101. Google everything. But remember, knowing these things is not enough. You have to change the paradigm. And this is the biggest thing. This is what I do. This is paradigm shifter. I help people shift their paradigms. Last week one client celebrated turning an old weekly income into a daily, earned more money in a day than they would have done in a normal week. Money paradigms changed. When I look back in all 3 years of turning that annual into a monthly, and then turn the monthly into a weekly, and then turn the weekly into a daily, and then doing it again, turning an old annual back into a monthly, incredible stuff. And it's not impossible. And this is the thing. Do not think, oh, it's okay for you, Linda, you've got the time, or whatever it is. Everybody's got the time for something that they want. You've got time to sit down and, watch your Netflix and eat your ice cream. You've got time to go to the gym. But maybe you don't want to do anything, you don't want to go on the inside. You look after your body on the outside, but you're not looking on the inside. We've all got so much time for everything. But you're just deciding that you're too busy, you don't have time. And last week in my workshop, Your Worthy Goals, I did a whole talk on success schedule. How to, look at your time, how to manage it, how to set out a schedule, the important points, things that you should be looking at. Really powerful. Writing it down. I did mine nearly yesterday. I thought, time for a refresh. Quarter number 2. And I usually do it earlier in the month. That was like the 9th of April, but I was on holidays and things. But yeah. And don't think as well, oh, you know what, I'll do that next month. Today. Do something today. If you are feeling motivated from this call, this video, go and sit down and go, what do I want? What do I believe that is holding me back? What are the actions? What do you think I need to be doing? What am I not doing? Write it all down and then pick one thing. If you are in a network marketing business, you don't have to go, right, I'm going to do my social media, I'm going to make all these calls, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Just pick one. Because if you have to do all these things, it's all going to fall apart. Just pick one and be consistent with it. And when you build up that momentum and that rhythm, it gets easy. And then it turns into a habit. This is the best bit. 96% of our behaviour is habitual. So if you change it all to positive behaviour, imagine how much life would be. We would be on autopilot as the most efficient people in the world. And it's not impossible. It is possible. Trust me, the things that I have changed, I thought were impossible. Just change your habits. And then once you've got one going, so maybe you're like, oh yes, I'm really good at social media. Every day I post and it's all good. It's easy peasy. And maybe you've built it up and you've maybe passed it on to somebody else. Maybe you've got an expert in it to help you. Then go, right, okay, what's the next thing I need to address? I'm going to do this. I'm going to set up a schedule where I always follow up. Every single day I'm going to do da-da-da. And you do that for a month. Get it built up, build up the habit. But one or two things at a time. That's how you close this knowing doing gap. There's absolutely no point reading another book, doing all these things. And I actually think that people are, they're reading all these books and they're waiting for the aha moment, like, that's what I needed to hear. But you already know what you need to do. This is the thing. You don't need another webinar to tell you, oh, you got to do inside work. You don't need another book to say, oh, you should follow this and this is going to give you success. You already know how to do a lot of things. Okay? But if you are waiting for this moment you could be waiting a long time. Not everybody has that, what I call that emotional impact, where you go, right, that's it. I had that, and it's not fun. So if you haven't got to that point yet, you can save yourself from that. You can save yourself from having to go through an emotional impact. You can save yourself from going through to nearly absolute burnout and like losing the plot altogether. Because that was me. So ambitious, but was going way too fast. Didn't know how to slow down. Was just burning out, and it was rinse and repeat. Burned out, took a break, built it up, burned out, took a break, built it up, burned out. I went on and on and on. And it's exhausting. And it's frustrating. So if you're frustrated in life, things aren't going to plan, look at your behaviour. Are you seeking temporary highs? What are you actually doing towards your goal every day? Every day. I did a bonus video in my Worthy Goals group on, what day is this, Sunday? On Friday night, on visualization. Somebody asked, how often should you do this? I'm like, twice a day, every day. Every day. Every single day. And when people hear it, it's like, oh, it sounds like a lot of work. It's not really. It's an hour of your day, every day. And if someone says, if you spend an hour of your day, every day, working with a coach and reading awesome material and taking action on that material and really learning how to change your behaviour at the root cause of every problem that you have, and you could have anything you want in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, would you not just sign the dotted line? But we don't do it because the knowing doing gap is so big. So don't be waiting for this epiphany. If you're having any of these feelings, just start today. Write out what it is you want. Find out what it is that you're not doing. Now, this is not, I always say this to my clients, this is not an opportunity for you to give yourself an absolute, I'm going to use the word hiding, but absolutely beat yourself up, okay? I'm going to use that word for the international people watching this. Don't be beating yourself up. Don't be using this as an opportunity for you to use yourself as a punching bag and go, oh, you don't do this, why do you not do that, or da-da-da-da-da. Because you'll hear yourself being really critical. Just go, oh, that's okay. It's good to know I do that. It's good to know I don't do that. It's good to know I do this. Don't be used to go through shortcuts, because that's not going to be great. You're not going to get great action steps from that vibration when you're being really hard on yourself. Okay? Now, I'll have a look at the comments here. Is there any more questions? Even after I end this video, if you've been watching this back, and I do encourage you to watch this back, and write down all the steps that I said, okay? And use the energy from this video and go and take action now. Do it today. It's 10:30 on Sunday morning. What are you doing? You lie in bed still. You lucky ducks. I get up early anyway. Half an hour, 30 minutes. See, by 11 a.m, you could have totally changed your outlook for this week. Given yourself a bit more purpose, giving yourself a plan that's beyond just motivation. Giving yourself something to look forward to. Like 30 minutes, that's all it would take. Close all the doors, put on some music, headphones, and just listen. And just trust that the answers are going to come out. 30 minutes today could change your whole week. It'd be unbelievable. So do that. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. As I said, if you have any questions about this, always pop them in the comments. Fiona's very good there. She's very brave. She asked a really good question. Pop them in, and I'll always come back periodically to answer them. Okay? So, have an amazing Sunday. Get a nice clean sheet of paper out and get going. Let me see, Teresa. I'm lying in bed preparing myself for my children being off for 2 weeks of Easter. Pete, yes. Consistent, persistent action. Yeah, you just have to keep doing it. And I promise you, it gets easier and easier and easier to do because it becomes a habit. That's what makes it easy. And don't worry if you fall off the wagon. Just get yourself back on, because I always say, like, every moment's a fresh moment. So every moment could be the start of a new day. Doesn't matter what time it is. Alrighty. Have a most amazing Sunday, guys, and I will see you all next week, because you'll all be off, so you'll have loads of time to listen to me. Thank you so much for joining.